But all right. So I think we're about ready to move on. But once again, happy birthday, Zack Snyder's Justice League,
Yes,
and
happy birthday.
stay tuned. One day there will be an actual update on Superman on film and what the future holds for our last son of Krypton. But for
Hope,
now,
hope.
we move on. Oh, hope indeed.
We have our
But
hope.
all right. So earlier this week, one of the big stories that came out was that everyone's favorite double-sided lightsaber yielding black and red weird villain, Darth Maul. From
That was very elegant.
yeah, thank you. Listen, I'm trying here. Darth Maul was supposed to be in Obi-Wan Kenobi over on Disney Plus with Ewan McGregor, part of the you know uh, dusting off that continuity and making it exciting again. And he got cut. And well, let me just ask you, hey, when you heard that, did you weep a geek tear?
No, I was kind of happy to hear that they did that because, you know, I don't always agree with this, but it does seem like Disney's very much been relying on like the pool of like the nostalgia
Mm-hmm.
and like
Mm-hmm.
throwing these like a lot of these like characters in. And while I liked like the little winks and nods here and there, like that just seems like they're leaning too much on something. But then again, at the same time, not being super familiar with the animated stuff, when I watched that first teaser, like we talked about last week, I had no idea who all these weird bald, Hellraiser Jedi people were.
Yeah.
So like maybe I would have liked to have seen someone, but with the news that we already have like Vader coming back in some
Mm-hmm.
fashion, whether they're having a fight or just a flashback or whatever they're doing, I mean that's enough. I don't think we need Maul and him. I at that point it just doesn't seem like is there necessarily a story purpose, for that? And
Yeah.
plus we saw him in Solo. There's that teaser.
Mm-hmm.
It was at the end of Solo, the teaser, right? That we saw,
Yeah.
or
He
was it
speaks
during the
to
actual film?
during the actual film. He speaks to
No, it was
Amelia
during.
Clark's character in the third
So
act,
like,
and yeah.
yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, bring him back. I know he's back in the comics and stuff like that. He survived, like like they've been retconning everything, but put him back in some other series. Like let's let Obi do his thing and just focus on Ewan McGregor and his relationship with Hayden Christensen, Vader.
Yeah, and it's something else that came up about the show too, kind of in terms of other things that got cut or changed, is that I don't know if you remember this, but they had already hired a director and written a whole bunch of scripts, and he and had even begun like pre-production on a version of this series, and then scrapped all those scripts and kind of went back to the drawing board and kind of and created a new creative direction, no longer with that director. And it's been said this week that one of the reasons that Lucasfilm wanted to change it was that the original vision was very bleak, and they really wanted to make something that was a little more hopeful. And I can't say I disagree with that. Um, yeah, I guess just by and large, I'm in this interesting spot when it comes to all this news because when you trust the creatives behind all this stuff, it makes it easy not to micromanage. You know what I mean? Like I trust Filoni, I trust John Favreau. So I'm like, if this is how they want to do it, I'm down. They've earned enough of my goodwill and enough of my belief in their abilities that even stuff like cutting Darth Maul, which would have been epic, I'm like, I'm sure they had the reasons, and I'm sure what they're going to do is going to be great. You know?
I'll say they've earned that. They've earned that from me as well. But as someone who has finished Book of Boba Fett, and I know you only
Mm-hmm.
saw like a few episodes,
Yeah, I'm like two
that
in.
was that one was a little weird and sloppy, and I'm very
Yeah,
curious if like that was really always what they planned to do, or if like
yeah.
something happened. But and also like the vibe was, and I guess they probably didn't want to have the basically another show that was just like The Mandalorian. They had to change it a little
Mm-hmm.
bit, but the tone got very Saturday morning cartoon.
Mm,
So that's something I really hope doesn't happen with Kenobi. I hope,
yeah,
even though they said it was too close to The Mandalorian originally, I hope tonally it can somehow still feel that way with whatever
yeah,
they decided to come up with.
for sure, for sure.